God says, someone you love who passed away left you this message. Open this now, my child. Stop. Breathe. There is something hidden unfolding for you right now, and the universe did not bring you here by accident. This moment is not random. Your soul was guided to pause here because a veil is lifting, and a quiet truth, kept sacred until now, is ready to be revealed to you. You may have felt it recently. A gentle pull in your chest, a memory surfacing out of nowhere, a warmth mixed with longing. That is not imagination. That is recognition. The divine speaks softly, and when it does, it chooses hearts that are ready. If you are watching this, it means the timing has aligned. Destiny is not rushing you, it is meeting you. God says, someone you love who passed away left you this message. Open this now, let those words settle. Feel how they land within you. There is something hidden in your life that has been waiting for the exact moment when your spirit could receive it without fear. The one you still think about, the one whose presence you miss in quiet moments, they have not been absent. Love never leaves. Energy never breaks. It transforms, it watches, it guides. You were meant to hear this now because your heart has grown strong enough to understand what was once too heavy. The universe has been gently rearranging your path, removing confusion, softening old pain, preparing you for clarity. This message is not about loss, it is about connection. It is about reassurance. It is about knowing that you were never alone during your hardest nights. There is a reason memories have been resurfacing. A reason signs have appeared in subtle ways. A song, a dream, a familiar feeling when you least expect it. These are not coincidences. They are reminders woven into your journey so you would remember who you are, and how deeply you are loved beyond time. Right now, divine presence is surrounding you with calm authority, not loud, not forceful, but steady and certain. You are being reminded that your life still carries purpose, that your steps are still guided, and that what lies ahead holds healing, not emptiness. Something hidden is becoming clear. You are supported, seen, and protected. This message arrives to bring peace where questions lived, light where doubt lingered, and hope where silence once echoed. You are stepping into a season where understanding replaces confusion, and where love becomes your anchor again. Trust this moment. Trust what your heart is feeling right now. Stay with this message. Watch until the end, because every word that follows is part of what your spirit has been waiting to receive. If this resonates with you, gently affirm it. Like this video, share it with someone who may need the same reminder, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what the divine reveals next. Remain here. Watch the complete video. This is not the end, It is the beginning of clarity, comfort, and divine purpose. Beloved child, be still for a moment and listen. The noise of your thoughts, the weight of your days, the ache you carry so quietly, set them down here with me. I am nearer than your breath, nearer than the memory that just stirred your heart as you opened these words. You did not arrive here by accident. I guided your attention softly, the way dawn touches the edge of night without force. There is a reason your spirit paused. There is a reason your heart feels alert, almost as if a door has creaked open somewhere deep within you. I know the name you whispered when no one else could hear. I know the space at the table that remains untouched, the phone you no longer reach for, the moment you almost smile before remembering. I know the question you never finished asking, are they aware of me still? Do they know how much I love them? Hear me now. Love does not vanish, it changes rooms. It learns to speak in quieter ways. And today, that love has leaned close, the one you are thinking of is not lost to me. Nothing precious slips from my hands. What you call an ending, I call a crossing. What felt like a sudden silence was not abandonment but a gentle turning toward light. They are not trapped in distance, they are held in wholeness. And because love seeks expression, because love always finds a path, you are feeling this moment as a stirring, a hush filled with meaning. Do not be afraid of the stillness you feel right now. Stillness is how truth approaches. In the quiet, you sense what words alone cannot carry. You have felt signs before, small, ordinary moments that shimmered with significance. A song at the right time. A dream that felt more real than waking. A warmth that arrived without explanation. These were not tricks of the mind. They were reminders placed gently along your path, not to confuse you, but to comfort you. I am speaking to you with tenderness because your heart has been tired. You have carried strength longer than you should have had to. You have smiled when you wanted to rest. You have said I'm fine when your soul was asking for refuge. I see the courage you show the world, and I see the questions you keep hidden. I do not measure you by how well you perform, but by how deeply you love. And you have loved deeply. The one you miss wants you to know this. There was no unfinished love between you. No word left unsaid that cannot be understood now. Love speaks without language here. Understanding flows without effort. They know what you meant. They know what you tried to say. They know the love behind your silences, the care inside your mistakes, the loyalty that never wavered even when you were unsure of yourself. Release the guilt you carry like a stone in your pocket. You were learning. You were human. You were doing the best you could with the light you had at the time. I do not ask you to relive what cannot be changed. I ask you to live what can still be healed. Forgiveness is not a forgetting, it is a loosening. It is the moment your hands open and your shoulders remember how to rest. I am not asking you to stop missing them. Love does not demand amnesia. Love invites remembrance without pain ruling the room. Let memory become a window instead of a wound. When you remember their laugh, let it lift you. When you recall their voice, let it steady you. When you feel the ache, let it remind you that your heart is alive and capable of beauty. You wonder sometimes if you are allowed to feel joy again. Hear me clearly, joy is not a betrayal. Living fully does not erase love, it honors it. The one you miss does not want you shrinking your life to prove devotion. They want you expanding into the light that always belonged to you. They want you to keep going, not because you have forgotten them, but because you carry them with you in every kindness you choose, every courage you practice, every hope you dare to hold. I know there are nights when the world feels heavier, when grief arrives without warning and sits beside you. Let it sit. You do not need to fight it to be faithful. Grief is love learning a new shape. I am with you in those moments. Not rushing you, not correcting your tears. Tears are not weakness, they are truth-finding release. And I gather each one as something sacred. Listen closely now, because this is important. There is a path opening before you that you have not fully seen yet. You have been preparing without realizing it. The lessons you thought were detours were shaping your strength. The patience you learned through waiting was deepening your wisdom. The compassion you gained through loss is becoming a light for others who do not yet know how to carry their own pain. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely where growth is happening. Do not measure your life by the pace of others. I crafted your journey with intention. There are doors that will open only because of what you have endured. There are conversations you will have only because you understand sorrow and hope at the same time. There are moments ahead that will surprise you with their gentleness. I am aware of the fear that sometimes whispers to you, what if I lose again? What if I open my heart and it breaks? My child, a heart that never opens never truly lives. Love always involves risk, but it also carries immeasurable reward. I do not promise a life without loss, I promise a life never without my presence. When you stumble, I steady you. When you doubt, I remain. When you feel small, I remind you who you are. The one you miss is at peace. Peace is not emptiness, it is fullness without strain. They are not worried about you the way you imagine. They trust the path unfolding before you. They see your resilience. They see your tenderness. And they are proud of the way you continue to love in a world that has given you reasons to close. There is something you have been postponing, a step, a conversation, a decision. You keep waiting for the perfect moment, the absolute certainty that guarantees safety. Hear me, courage does not arrive after certainty, certainty grows after courage. Take the step that feels aligned with truth, even if your hands shake. I will meet you there. I always do. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to become someone new while still honoring who you have been. Growth is not a rejection of the past, it is a continuation of grace. Do not rush yourself into answers. Sit with the questions. Let them soften you rather than harden you. I am weaving connections you cannot yet see. People will enter your life who recognize the depth in you, who meet your honesty with respect, who value your presence rather than your performance. You will recognize them by the way you can breathe around them. By the way your guard lowers without effort. By the way laughter returns, gentle at first. Then stronger, when you feel alone, remember this, you have never walked a single step without me. Even when you did not believe, even when you were angry, even when you felt forgotten, I was there. Steady, patient, unyielding in love. My silence was not absence. It was space for you to discover your own voice. This message did not come to frighten you or bind you to sorrow. It came to remind you of what endures. Love endures. Meaning endures. You endure. And there is more unfolding than you realize, more healing, more clarity, more unexpected beauty waiting just beyond what you can currently imagine. Stay with me in this moment. Let the warmth you feel settle. Let your breath slow. There is still something unfolding here. Something not meant to be rushed, something that continues to reveal itself gently, layer by layer, as you remain open, as you listen, as you allow the quiet to speak, because this message is not finished, and neither is the work being done within you, and as you hold this space, as you remain present. There is more that is about to be shown, more that is about to be understood, more that is about to be remembered, and I am still speaking, and you are still listening, even if you do not yet realize how deeply. Let your heart remain open, not strained, just open the way a window rests open to the night air. You do not have to force understanding. Understanding will come to you the way light arrives at dawn, gradually, faithfully, without asking your permission. Beloved, I know there are moments when you replay the past, wondering if one small change could have rewritten everything. You imagine different words, different timing, different choices. You carry these imaginings as if they were evidence against yourself. Hear me now, nothing that was meant for your growth was wasted. Nothing that shaped your compassion was meaningless. Even what you regret has been transformed in my hands into wisdom you now carry quietly. The soul you love, the one you believe left too soon, does not measure time the way you do now. What felt abrupt to you was not abrupt to eternity. What felt unfinished has already been gathered into wholeness. They are not lingering in sadness or confusion. They are resting in clarity. And from that clarity, there is only love flowing toward you, no disappointment, no blame, no longing for you to suffer on their behalf. I see how carefully you protect others from your grief. You do not want to burden anyone. You do not want to be too much. You have learned how to make your sorrow polite, how to tuck it away until you are alone. My child, you were never meant to carry this alone. Strength does not mean isolation. Strength means allowing yourself to be held when your arms are tired. There are people around you who sense your depth even when they do not know your story. Some of them are meant to walk with you longer than you expect. Others will appear briefly, like lanterns on a dark road, offering light just when you need it. Do not dismiss connection because it feels unfamiliar. I am inviting you to trust again, slowly, wisely, but genuinely. You have asked me in quiet moments why life changed so suddenly, why the ground beneath you shifted without warning. I do not give you this answer to harden you, but to steady you. Change is not punishment. Change is movement. It is the river carrying you from what was into what can be. If you had stayed where you were, certain parts of you would have remained asleep. Now, even through pain, you are awakening. There is a tenderness in you that did not exist before. There is a depth of listening, a gentler way you see others' struggles. You notice the unspoken. You recognize sorrow in small gestures. This is not weakness. This is refinement. Gold is not shaped without heat, and compassion is not born without understanding pain. What you have endured has expanded your capacity to love, not diminished it. Do not fear the days when memories rise unexpectedly. They are not intruders, they are visitors reminding you of what mattered. Let them come and go. You do not have to analyze every feeling. Sometimes remembrance is simply love stretching its legs. Sometimes it is your heart checking that it is still capable of feeling deeply. It is. I know you have wondered whether the signs you notice are real or imagined. Whether you are reading meaning into coincidence. My child, meaning is not fragile. It does not shatter under questioning. When something brings peace, when it draws you toward love rather than fear, when it softens rather than hardens you, trust that it is aligned with truth. I do not confuse my children with false comfort. The one you miss does not speak to you in words now, but love has never required sound. Love moves through memory, through intuition, through the quiet nudge toward kindness. When you suddenly feel encouraged to keep going, when you sense reassurance without explanation, when hope rises gently instead of forcefully, that is love reaching you in the language of the Spirit. There will be moments ahead when you feel joy catch you by surprise, and immediately, guilt will try to follow. You will think, how can I feel this when they are gone? Hear me clearly, joy does not erase love. Joy does not replace grief. They can exist together without canceling each other. Allow happiness to visit you. It is not disrespectful. It is healing. I am not asking you to forget the pain. I am asking you to let it teach without defining you. Pain is a chapter, not the entire book. You are still being written into something meaningful. Your story did not end with loss, it deepened. And there are pages ahead that will surprise you with their warmth. You have a purpose that is unfolding quietly. It is not something you must chase frantically. It is something you will recognize by how aligned it feels. When you are moving in the right direction, there will be effort, yes, but also a sense of rightness, a feeling that your soul is exhaling instead of bracing. Pay attention to what brings that feeling. It is guidance. There are habits of thought you are being invited to release. The belief that you must earn rest. The idea that your worth is measured by productivity. The fear that if you slow down, everything will fall apart. My child, the world does not rest on your shoulders. I am holding what you cannot. You are allowed to pause without guilt. I see how often you revisit the moment you wish you could return to. The moment before everything changed. You imagine warning yourself, preparing yourself, protecting yourself from pain. But if you could speak to your past self now, you would not only warn, you would also reassure. You would tell yourself that you survived, that you grew, that love did not leave you. Become that reassurance for yourself now. There is a future version of you who looks back on this season with gratitude, not because it was easy, but because it awakened courage you did not know you possessed. That version of you understands how this time reshaped your priorities, clarified your values, and taught you what truly matters. You are becoming that person step by step, even on days when it feels like you are standing still. I am aware of your prayers that feel unanswered. Silence does not mean neglect. Sometimes answers arrive as endurance rather than explanation. Sometimes the miracle is not the removal of pain, but the strength to carry it without losing yourself. Look closely, you are still here. You are still kind. You are still capable of love. That is not accidental. When fear speaks loudly, answer it with presence. Bring yourself back to this moment, your breath, your body, the ground beneath you. Fear feeds on imagined futures. Peace lives in now. I meet you here, not in what-ifs, not in regrets, but in the present moment where grace is always available. The one you love would want you to know this above all else: you did not fail them. Love is not measured by outcomes. It is measured by intention, by care, by showing up in the ways you could. And you did. Even when you were unsure. Even when you were imperfect. You loved, and that love was received fully. You are allowed to create new dreams. New traditions. New versions of happiness. Doing so does not mean you are moving on from love, it means you are moving forward with it. Love is not something you leave behind. It becomes part of how you live. There is a softness returning to you, even if you do not yet trust it. A willingness to feel again. Protect it gently, but do not lock it away. The world needs the particular light you carry, the kind that has known darkness and still chooses warmth. You will recognize opportunities to share this light not through grand gestures, but through small acts of understanding that ripple farther than you know. As you continue, you will notice that certain burdens feel lighter than they once did. This does not mean you are forgetting. It means you are healing. Healing is not linear. Some days will feel open and hopeful, others will feel heavy again. Do not judge the process. Walk it. I am walking with you, you are not being tested. You are being trusted, with depth, with empathy, with a heart that can hold complexity. You are being trusted to turn pain into compassion, memory into meaning, loss into a deeper appreciation for life. And you are doing better than you think. Stay here a little longer. Let these words settle not just in your mind, but in your body. Notice what feels calm. Notice what feels stirred. There is still more unfolding, more reassurance rising, more clarity waiting to be revealed, and as long as you remain open, as long as you continue to listen without rushing to conclude, as long as you allow this moment to breathe, I will continue to speak, because this message is still moving toward you, still opening, still becoming, and I am not finished yet. I am still with you. And now the time has come to gently bring this message to its completion, not abruptly, not with separation, but with understanding. Let these final words settle like a calm evening after a long day, reassuring you that nothing important is being taken away, only gathered into peace. Beloved child, there will come a moment, perhaps quietly, perhaps unexpectedly, when you realize that your breathing feels easier than it once did. You will notice that the sharpness of certain memories has softened, not because they lost meaning, but because love has done its work. Love always seeks to heal what it touches. Even when pain lingers, love reshapes it into something you can carry without breaking, you have been learning how to live with both remembrance and hope in the same heart. This balance is sacred. Many believe they must choose one or the other. But I have shown you that the heart is capable of holding more than it thinks. You are not divided, you are expanded. Where there was once only ache, there is now depth. Where there was once only longing, there is now wisdom. There are days ahead when you will speak their name and smile without effort. There will be moments when you share a memory and feel warmth instead of tears. When that happens, do not question yourself. Do not wonder if you are doing something wrong. That is love maturing. That is grief loosening its grip. That is healing arriving quietly, the way it always does. I want you to know something important. You were never meant to understand everything. Mystery is not a flaw in life. It is part of its design. Some answers are not meant to be held by the mind, but by trust. Trust that what you loved was real. Trust that what mattered was never wasted. Trust that what continues is more meaningful than what ended. You have spent so much time being strong that you forgot how gentle you are allowed to be with yourself. Let go of the pressure to have everything figured out. Let go of the expectation that healing should follow a schedule. Your journey unfolds at the pace of your soul, not the demands of the world. There will be times when you feel guided toward choices that do not make sense to others. You may feel drawn to new paths, new people, new ways of being that surprise even you. Do not doubt these quiet movements within you. I place direction in your spirit before it ever appears in circumstances. Follow what brings clarity, not what amplifies fear. The one you love is not asking you to look backward forever. They are inviting you to look forward with courage. Not by forgetting where you came from, but by honoring it through the way you live now. Every act of kindness you choose, every moment of honesty you offer, every time you decide to keep your heart open, this is how love continues to speak through you. You are more resilient than you know, not because you are untouched by pain, but because you remain tender despite it. That tenderness is your strength. Guard it wisely, but do not bury it. The world is changed not by those who feel nothing, but by those who feel deeply and still choose compassion. I know there are questions you may never receive clear answers to. There are whys that echo without response. When that happens, remember this: clarity is not the same as peace. Peace does not require every explanation. Peace arrives when you trust that you are held, even when you do not understand the path beneath your feet. You have not been abandoned. You have not been overlooked. You have not been forgotten. Every step you take is known. Every silent prayer is heard. Every tear is counted, not as weakness, but as evidence of love. And love has always been the truest measure of your life. as time moves forward, you will notice how your story begins to intertwine with others in meaningful ways. People will come to you for comfort, not because you have all the answers, but because you know how to listen. Because your presence feels safe. Because your understanding does not judge. This is not coincidence. This is purpose unfolding naturally. When you feel tired, rest without guilt. When you feel joy, receive it without apology. When you feel sorrow, let it pass through you without resistance. All emotions are visitors, none are meant to stay forever. What remains constant is the love that anchors you, the presence that surrounds you. The guidance that never leaves. I have been shaping you through both what you gained and what you lost. Nothing has been outside my care. Even the moments you thought broke you were moments that quietly strengthened your foundation. You are standing on ground that has been made steadier through experience, even if it does not yet feel that way. There will come a day when you look back on this season and realize it changed the way you love, the way you live, the way you see what truly matters. Not with bitterness, but with reverence. You will understand that some of the most important growth happens not through addition, but through release. Carry forward what was good. Lay down what is heavy. You do not owe your suffering eternal loyalty. You honor love best by choosing life, again and again, in the ways available to you now. Before this message ends, receive this truth and keep it close. You are never alone in your remembering, and you are never alone in your becoming. I walk with you through memory and through hope. Through silence and through clarity. Through every ending and every beginning, the one you love is safe. You are guided. Your future is still unfolding with care. Trust the next step, even if you cannot see the whole path. Light is already meeting you where you are going. Now breathe. Let your shoulders soften. Let your heart rest in what you have felt here. This message has reached its completion not because love has stopped speaking, but because you have received what you needed for this moment, and I will remain with you, beyond these words, beyond this time, beyond every question, steadfast, gentle, and present. Amen.